Welcome to Why Are You Awake? Paul Farahvar here, your host. This week, comedian Joey Villagomez joins me, Chicago legend. Make sure you follow him on Instagram if you don't already. Also follow me if you don't follow me. If you're listening to this podcast, go over and watch it on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Paul F Comedy. Again, follow Joey at Joey the Clown, D-A Clown on Instagram. Follow me at Paul Farahvar. Check out my website, Paul F Comedy, for upcoming dates. I'll actually be at Christy B's in Palm Coast this Friday in Florida. Make sure if you have friends in the Daytona area to come check me out. I'll be in Boston next week on Sunday, April 27th at the Academy. Make sure you, at the studio. Make sure you come out there and tell your Boston friends to come see me. Thank you for all those that came out to DC and told people about the DC shows. If you're in Chicago, I'll be hosting stand-up sit-down at the world-famous Laugh Factory on Monday, April 21st, and on Monday, April 28th. If you haven't been to that show, it's super fun. I interview comedians after their sets. If you follow this podcast, just DM me on Instagram. I'll give you free tickets to come to the show. It's one of a kind, and sometimes some crazy fun stuff happens. Also, if you like this podcast, subscribe and give us a review if you're listening anywhere. Send me a copy of the review to my email, and I will send you one of these cool pins. They're super cool, and it's free stuff, right? All you got to do is say you like this podcast, give us 5 stars, all that stuff. My email is pfarahvar@gmail.com. Also, check out our sponsor. Hey gang, as some of you know, I used to be a practicing lawyer in Chicago. I no longer practice, but from time to time, I need a lawyer. And when I need a lawyer, I call my friend Scott Shapiro. Scott Shapiro has been practicing law for over 25 years in Chicago. He does it all, from workers' compensation to personal injury, employment issues, and even entertainment law and contract needs. If you need a lawyer, call my friend Scott. 312-648-8800. That's 312-648-8800. Or you can email him at scott@scottshapirolegal.com. Tell him I sent you. You're welcome. It's time for another edition of Why Are You Awake? Paul Farahvar here, your host. This week we have one of the greatest things to come out of Chicago, Illinois, Southside, Joey Villagomez.
Yo, what's up, man?
We've been trying to get you on this podcast for a while.
Yeah, man.
You had a broken leg. Not broken, but...
Well, I was on crutches, bro.
Yeah.
You know, looking for parking around here can
it's
be
easy,
tough. Well,
right?
this late at night, it's pretty simple.
That's how we do it. We record late
But,
at
you
night.
know, I'm a Southsider. I'm thinking like, yo, man, I got to...
Back of the yards, right?
Well, now, yeah. Back of the yards, man. Still live down there, too. No, I was going to say, now that I walk with the cane...
Yeah.
Like, I can move faster.
Yeah, you got sidelined for a while with comedy because of your fucking leg.
Not really. I didn't really get sidelined with comedy.
No? You got to like stay local though, right?
Not that I had to stay local. It was more booking shows that I was going to headline.
Oh, okay.
Where it was worth showing up on crutches.
Because they got to get a chair for you. And
I tried to do a couple of showcases at Laugh Factory and trying to get through those crowds with the crutches. Yeah, there was one show where they had to open the side door and let me in through the side.
You're the definition of Southside. We've been friends for a long time. I'll tell you my recollections of you when I first started. But you start shit so much online with the Cubs fans.
Oh, yeah.
It's like your little thing, and you get away with it. But I think you just love watching the reactions. I mean, I kind of feel like that with Donald Trump fans. I kind of do the same thing.
It's just to trigger people. Well, here's the thing, though.
But it works.
It works. Well, social media, people are fucking insane.
Yeah.
But here's what people, like the new age Cub fans, here's what they don't understand. I'm 46 years old.
Yeah.
I grew up in the 90s, diehard White Sox fan. That was the real crosstown classic back then.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was one
they
game.
played each other one weekend. It was usually one weekend.
Oh, I'm
it was
talking
always
about 80s. I mean, even before that.
Yeah, before that, it was one game.
Count.
And then they turned it into one weekend.
Yeah.
But it was before interleague play. There was no American League and National League teams playing each other. Just the crosstown classics like New York,
right.
California, LA. I grew up in an era where you went to school, you went to work, and there was no social media. So it was literal trash talking
all day
for that whole week. Oh, we're playing you assholes this weekend.
Right.
So when social media came along, it made it easier to trash talk.
Yeah.
We do comedy, right? So we get followers from everywhere.
Yeah.
When I post the anti-Cub, like, oh, the Cubs, I'm usually directing it to a group of 10 people.
I feel like you're aiming
But
it at me
everybody
too.
else, exactly. Even
But
Joe
that's 'cause-
Kilgan's like, I learned to ignore your Cubs posts.
Yeah, sometimes
'Cause
they're
he said they
funny,
would
but
piss him off.
sometimes they're really good and it hurts. But
I
now
mean,
it doesn't
I
matter.
can't really say anything,
Yeah,
though, as a
now
White
right now
Sox fan.
You've been quiet.
The White Sox won the World Series in 2005. And by 2015, you know how many Cub fans were, oh, it's already been a decade. Look at same shit with you guys. You guys are a
it's
year
gonna be
away
a
from the
decade.
fucking decade.
Yeah,
man.
I know. It is funny.
People don't realize how fast in 10 years
I
go by.
was never anti White Sox. Even as a kid, I kind of like root for. And in 2005, I rooted for you guys. I really did.
No, see, I'm anti-Cub.
I know.
I don't.
It's a different thing.
Growing up a White Sox fan, we didn't get a lot of TV play. You know, we didn't get
None.
a lot of props. And you grew up in Chicago, all you see is WGN News, Cubs.
grew up anywhere.
WGN Cubs. In Mexico, the only U.S. team that they would play was the Los Cachorros, the Cubs.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's why there's so many Mexican Cub fans.
Oh, interesting.
Because they were playing Cub games down
They
there.
they're Cubs fans everywhere because of WGN.
Because of WGN.
It was the only thing that you can.
My wife's dad, he's from Jalisco. He lives down there now. Big Cub fan.
Yeah.
I mean, you've heard people talk about this. As we get older, I still love sports. Like, I'm still hanging on to the Bears. But I don't really give a shit anymore. I've lost the love for the Bulls. The
Bulls
the White
I've
Sox.
lost for a while, but the Bears, I will say, this is the first year I didn't watch one full game.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
You didn't? I watched all of them, dude.
Well, you know what it is I didn't want to get invested because I started watching that HBO
Hard Knocks?
the Hard Knocks thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
I
was
didn't
like
pay-
liking
that was
the
so
team.
phony.
And then after 3, I was like, this is bullshit. I don't want to fucking get
Yeah,
into this.
I watched. I enjoyed watching Hard Knocks because they show you what's happening inside.
Well, I didn't invest this year, and it felt so good to like not get upset.
not care. And that's how I felt about the White Sox because the
Yeah.
past 2 years since the hiring of Tony La Russa, even that year, I was like, what the fuck are they doing? And
We're not here to talk about baseball.
that's why we stay up late at night.
Yeah,
Fucking
exactly.
Worried about
Stupid
sports,
shit
watching
like
sports
this.
clips. I do, and don't get me wrong, bro. I love sports. Like
I do too,
That's
but
usually,
it doesn't affect me as much as it used to.
Yeah, I don't get upset. I don't fucking. I'm not gonna shut down everything because
Like
there's
if I
a
had
big
tickets
game.
to a huge game, but I also had a show that night. If someone offers me, I'm like, I'd rather just
Yeah,
see
just
my
go-
show.
go make some money
make
and
some
shit,
money,
yeah.
and have fun. Let's talk about comedy. When I started comedy, you were already a well-known comic everywhere. I remember you were doing Laugh Factory everywhere, but you were like nice to all of us, the young comics. You were never a dick to me or any of the other guys.
I'm a friendly dude, bro. I've always
Yeah.
been like that, man.
You were intimidating though too, because you'd crush, and then you introduced me to like Mike Yo. You got me into a lot of places when I started.
I help a lot of people out, man.
Yeah,
You
me
know?
too. I like to.
And-
I
and
try
not
to
in-
pass that along.
And not in a way where, because you do see this a lot where people are gonna fucking look out for you if you run a room, if you produce a show, just to get spots.
Right.
I was never like that, bro. I was never. When I started working with Mikey O, I ran a room on the south side at the Polish bar for 5 years with him, 5-6 years. I was Mikey O's south side connection, and also who are the new comics on the scene.
Yeah.
So not that I'm like evaluating you guys, but when I see a comic that can rock it for 10 minutes and he would throw a name, like ask me, hey, do you have any new comics? Hey, Paul Farahvar, he's a fucking lawyer. He can do clean comedy. No, because he would ask me, can they work clean? I was kind of like scout. People don't know that, but I kind of scout for Mikey. And
That makes
even for the
sense.
room that I would book, even when I would book the Latino comedy night, when I see new comics, or I would hit up Avi or Gwen,
Right.
hey, how is that? Can that do?
I still do that
10
like,
minutes and-
because I'm helping booking rooms, as you know, and I always just ask like who's good. And I used to ask certain people, but they're no longer around. So I'm always like, so now if I do a show with someone, they crush. I'm like, hey, give me your info. I'm going to forward you to this club that I know.
All right, you see, I'm the same way.
I always
dude.
do that. Yeah, I don't benefit from it, but I feel like it's good. It's just good karma.
Put it this
People
way.
did it for me.
When bookers, clubs, and certain promoters are asking you to recommend names, that means that your name is solid in the
Yeah,
game, dude.
you're
They wouldn't be asking you if
Right.
you were
There's no
some
competition.
not funny, arrogant asshole. They wouldn't be asking you.
When I would bring up like comics that are now huge, obviously fucking blown the fuck up, I'm always like, and they're always so thankful. Like if I take them to like a funny business show, I'm always like, hey, but when you're doing Chicago theater, I get to open for you. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, of course, if I ever do. And some of these fuckers have.
They
done
have,
now,
yeah.
And they haven't called me. I'm like, you remember I got you in that shitty show in Saga.
Yeah, I don't sweat those, man. I've had,
I know, but it's funny.
like Hannibal and other
Yeah.
names, and I'm like, oh, I've worked with these dudes. I've never been like, fuck, why don't they fucking hit me? If
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
them
yeah.
ever told me, like, yeah, man, I'll hit you up. I'm be like, motherfucker, you said
Yeah,
you were
no,
gonna
that's
pull
what I'm
me up,
saying.
man,
Like
you
I
know?
always be like, just remember that I helped your first, or like I got a lot of people into Laugh Factory, and they're always like so thankful. I'm like, hey man, no problem, you deserved it, but if you're ever big, I want to open for you.
Yep.
Some of them are on the cusp now. We'll see.
There's also comics that know we are headliners. I featured for somebody at the Improv couple weeks ago. Huge name.
Yeah.
And I was like burying his ass,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
when you get to a certain level, I feel like places where we used to feature all the time, I feel like they won't call us anymore because they
not
don't
to
want that
feature,
to happen.
unless they feel like you're a good opener for somebody
Yeah.
who crushes. But yeah, you're not going to get a lot of feature spots.
I mean, not to like bury someone unless they're an
No,
asshole.
but there's times where I'm not
can't
gonna
control it. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna go up there and half-ass my shit. Like the shows are sold out, so to me it's like
You got to also be like, if I'm crushing it and I'm bringing someone else up, I'm always like, I won't end on my closer because I feel like you do that,
yeah, I don't give
unless
a fuck,
they're
dude.
fucking solid too.
I've worked with guys who've hit me up to open for them, like, hey, feature for me, cool, and they don't care that I crush, bro.
Yeah.
And
they want you to crush.
and that I don't, not that I bury them, I do make them work. I'm not burying them. The improv, they called me. They booked me to feature a certain weekend, right? Hey, you want to feature for this guy on this weekend? And I'm like, yeah, I need the money. Fuck it, let's do it. That guy, I don't talk to him.
You don't know
He
him.
comes to
That's
Chicago
different.
once
Yeah,
a
yeah.
year. I know I've worked with him before. So to me, it's more like, I'm not going to go up there and take it easy and shit.
No, that's
like,
different. I'm talking about someone brings you. That's different.
yeah, but most of the people that have asked me to open for them, they know that
They're asking
not
you
that
to,
I'm going to crush, but they know that I'm going to fucking get it
no,
going.
if I'm bringing a feature with me, I want them to make me work.
Yeah, yeah.
How am I going to get better?
You want the crowd to be up there.
And also
so that
you-
when you go up there,
Right. And also you want them to have a good show. 'Cause
I mean, don't get
you
me
want
wrong,
the
Paul.
crowd to
There's,
have a good show.
there are people, when you have to think about you doing an hour, I mean, you do have to think about who's going to open for you. Like, I'm not going to bring another crusher to open
Yeah.
for me. I'm going to bring somebody good, but at the same time, put it this way. I'm going to do 45 to 50 minutes, and I'm doing like 30 minutes of new stuff. I want the motherfucker before me to crush, but not like demolish the fucking place.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Save
And I
some
know what
for
you're
you.
saying, because I've done that on accident.
Yeah.
And I have not gotten the call back to, there's a comedian that I featured for 2 years back in 2013. And on one of the last trips we went, and he's like, you write good jokes, right? And I'm like, oh, thanks, bro. And he's like, that's why I brought you. He's like, I need new shit. And he's like, I'm just fucking with you.
Carlos
And then,
Mencia. No.
I mean, they're from that same country,
World.
LA. Yeah. But that was the last time I featured for him. Like, I never got called.
I called you once. I'm not going to say this comic's name, but it's a funny story because I've said your name like 3 times in my life. Just kind of ease the tension when there's something happening. I was doing a show, and this comic, the first thing he said to me, he just walks in the room. We're in like a small fucking town I'm featuring. Hey, you work clean? I don't want no motherfucking this. And I go, hey, I'm Paul, by the way. Like, and then he goes, I don't want any of that motherfucking. I'm like, oh yeah, I can work clean. It's no big deal. I text you the guy. He goes, yeah, that guy sucks. You and I made fun. But the funny thing about that guy is he don't work clean. He just wants to save all
he
the
wants to be
fucks.
yeah.
Which is old school mentality.
He wants to hit with all the shock and awe and all this
First
shit.
words out of his mouth were motherfucking this. I'm like,
I've had headliners who I'll say his name because everybody knows it. Like, I featured for Ari Spears
oh yeah.
at the Improv a couple of times, and you've heard from other comics like, oh, he's an asshole. Why? Because he doesn't hang out in the green room with you? I don't he was cool as fuck with me, but he was like, don't do impressions and don't do too much racial shit.
Right.
Because that's what he's gonna do that for fucking 45 minutes. And I respect that. I'm not gonna go up there and be like, hey, check out my Joe Pesci voice. Ooh, ooh. And then he
show.
goes up there.
It's a
and
show
he's-
for everybody.
Exactly.
I don't want to ruin the
I don't
show.
want to fucking two
People
comics doing
came there to see
impressions.
him anyway. It's different. I don't like my features to do a bunch of crowd work. Not only because I'm gonna do it, but because crowd's expecting me to do it.
Yep.
And I don't want to be in that hole. I can do it, but I don't want to do it unless I
And
have
see,
to.
that's why usually when places like Zany's lets me bring a feature, you kind of know who
right. Who's gonna really do work?
and I always look at it even like how headliners do it for me. When I was kind of new in the game and people knew that I had a solid 20 minutes, they were giving me the opportunity to feature for them. So I
Yeah.
want to kind of do the same. Like,
Sure.
if I ever get big enough to do arenas and theaters, yeah, I'll be calling my fucking friends and shit like, hey, Paul, you want to fucking do fucking 15? I'm going to be calling
in.
my friends that can crush, and we're
and
doing this.
so you can have fun. You don't have to worry about it.
But like Zany's, fucking improv, hey, you can bring your own feature. I don't mind bringing one of these newer guys that can do a solid 20 minutes.
I like to get them in too.
to get them in, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe
'Cause
they
we're already all
they'll
in.
get hosting spots.
We was talking about when you started. When did you start comedy?
I started in 2005.
How did you start? How did this happen?
This September,
20 years.
the spring of 2005, 05. Here's what happened, man. I've always wanted to do stand-up because I was just a funny motherfucker around my friends. Like, literally funny, bro. Like, I used to roast. People ask me still do roast now. Even my friends that I grew up with, like, why don't you do them roast battles? I'm like, because it's different. Like, I don't know these young dudes. It's just a different game for me. I used to watch Def Comedy Jam every fucking Friday night on HBO. As a teenager, I watched Eddie Murphy's hour specials. My dad got me into stand-up because he would watch those midnight specials. He loves fucking Red Fox, Freddie Prinze Jr. My dad would watch those midnight specials. You ever remember those? It'd be like comedy and music and shit.
Yeah.
So I remember watching those as a kid, watching Sanford and Son, fucking Barney Miller, just watching comedies with my pops, bro.
Yeah.
I always had that comedic side of me, dude. I was always shy kid, but I was always performing, bro. Like, even at one of my birthday parties, I had a little microphone and I'm walking around interviewing people.
How did you decide to just try stand up?
There was no open mics. Jokes and Notes wasn't around yet.
Really?
No, it wasn't around. When I started in 05, I think they were just open like a year
There was
after.
Riddles, though, right?
Riddles, but the one in Orland Park.
How far is that from? I don't know what that means.
Well, where it's at now, that's on 111th and Cicero. So
go
159th and Harlem.
15 more yards.
15 miles more southwest.
Yeah. Wow.
It was a fucking trip going out there, dude.
Okay.
So I would do their like Monday showcases. I got in good with them. But the way I started doing stand-up was at work. I was a funny motherfucker at work. I was working with the city. I was there for about 3 years. And one of my friends at work was like, hey, dog, you should do stand-up. Because he used to work with a person that did improv at Second City.
Okay.
He's like, I went to go see a couple of their shows or whatever. They were whack. So I would think about it, right? There was a flyer that was plastered around downtown Chicago for Comedy College. You ever heard of Jim Roth?
No.
From Comedy College?
No.
I'm going to give him some props right now, bro, because I took his class. I paid like $300. Do you remember the Orange Crush on Halsted?
Yeah.
By Diversity and Halsted?
Yeah, I used to play there. It was a music.
All right, that's where they held the classes at. They would have an open mic after the class, too. I took that class. We would write these jokes and we'd get on stage and perform in front of the students. I used to write these jokes like if I was going to be on Def Comedy Jam. Like, I took it that serious, dude. I used to write these jokes and be like, I'm going to perform it like this. So at these classes, Jim would be like, oh, dude, you're like a fucking natural. And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to be like Def Comedy Jam and shit. After those classes would end, I met comics like Ricky Carmona. Do you remember Ricky Carmona?
Dude, yeah.
I met him there at the open mic, and then he was doing the Mikey O shows. So I met him. I met a few other comedians. I think I met TJ Miller there.
Right, okay.
He was just there doing open mic. They used to make fun of us. Like, the open micers would be by the bar.
Making fun of the class.
While the class was ending. And they'd be back there like, look at these fucking losers.
Right.
I would get off stage, and some of them comics would be like, hey, dude, that shit you were talking about was pretty funny. Right. You know what I mean? So I would stick around for the open mic, sign up, and I'd go up, dude. That's how I got on the scene. Like, I met comics like that, bro. And I never took Jim's class again. I mean, I thank him. The graduation party was dope. Like, my whole fucking family showed up. All these people from my job showed up, which I didn't think they were going to show up. Like, I crushed it, dude. I did 10 minutes of, I was 25 years old. Stupid shit, dude. Like, one of my jokes was, because, people from the hood always talk about being broke. I'm so broke, I joined the gang called the BCGs, the Bad Credit Gangsters. And all these white people cracking up.
When you were in high school, though, what were you like? Were you cracking jokes?
I was a shit talker, bro.
Did you get in a lot of fights?
Yeah, dude. I got into a few fights. I hung out with motherfuckers that were always fighting, dude.
So what high school did you go?
Well, I went to De La Salle High School,
which
is a Catholic school, and I got kicked out of that motherfucker.
For what?
For selling weed, yo.
Okay.
Yeah, I got caught with a few drugs.
Were you like a popular kid, or were you just kind of like the funny guy who got along with everybody?
I wasn't popular, like, like the jocks and all that.
Right.
I got along with everybody, bro. Like, the black kids were fucking cool as hell with me.
It was a diverse
the Italian kids
group
that would try to fuck with me at De La Salle. Yeah, I just made friends with everybody, yo.
What were you doing late at night when you were in high school? What kind of trouble were you getting into? Were you a night owl?
Yeah, man. It's funny you asked that because... I even bring it up with my parents, man. Like, once I hit about 16, 17, put it like this, bro. I'll be like, Ma, I'll be back. I'm going to go hang out with my friends. I'll be home about 11 p.m. Dude, it'll be 3 in the morning, and they're paging the shit out of me, dude. And I'm just ignoring their asses, bro.
Yeah.
And then I'd call, like, where the fuck you at? I'm like, oh, we're by Bam's house. I'll be home in an hour. You fucking better get your fucking ass home right now. All right. I'll be 16, 17 years old, fucking drunk, dude, drinking 40s and smoking blunts. It wasn't really partying. It's just the shit we did in the hood. Like, You know,
everyone did that.
everybody did that no matter where
high
you're at.
school,
You know,
yeah.
we're playing cards, playing spades in the back.
Yeah.
You know, fucking go get a couple of 40s, go get a big fat sack of shitty Mexican weed. Yeah, we just did that on the regular, bro. But in a bad neighborhood. So it wasn't always.
Where'd you go drink? Sometimes you couldn't go
Well,
to
you had to go
someone's
to.
house.
Did you see what happened at a liquor store in back of the yards the other day?
No.
On Friday? It was all over the fucking news.
What's that?
On 51st and Damon, Goldmore Liquors. Some chick opened fire and shot 5 people in there. That's the liquor store we used to go to.
Oh,
We used to call it the cold spot.
You just hang out outside?
No, we go in there.
Okay.
You know, there'll be some fucking gangbangers chilling out front.
And
we
they
go
just
in,
let
what's
you-
up, y'all? Yeah, because all my guys, my brother, were all part of that gang.
Okay.
So it was, you know, we just roll up. What's up, guys? What's up, y'all? Man?
And they just let
Go
you
get your
drink there,
shit.
though?
No, we take that shit back to the hood,
okay.
back to the block. We either hung out like on my block in front, which is more dangerous because, you know, people drive by. We've been shot at and just chilling on my porch
Jesus.
at least 4 or 5 times. So we'd chill in my garage or behind across the street, my friend Lewis's house.
Your parents didn't care?
Like my
My
dad
parents let me drink in my house as long as I didn't drive.
none of us were really driving. Only one of us drove around that time. But we'd be chilling out front, and my parents would come out like, "What are you guys doing?" I'm like, "Oh, we're just chilling, Pop." And then somebody will start blasting at us. We all fucking run, and then the next thing, my mom's in the door like, "What happened?" We're like, "I don't know. Somebody was shooting."
That's a bigger issue than drinking.
Yeah, like because it's just gangs, dude. A lot
Right.
of gangs over there, man.
What about during the week? You weren't drinking every night.
No,
were you?
yeah, we're drinking, dude.
Every
We're-
night?
bro.
Jesus
17, 18 years old. I wouldn't say every night, but especially during the summer. We had this thing where like my friends would meet up by 1, 2 p.m., dude, every summer, bro. So by 3 p.m., there's already 15, 16 of
Jesus
us
Christ.
shooting hoops in the alley and shit. We used to put crates up on the pole. Get a couple of 40s.
What about in school time, though?
We're like
Monday,
during
let's
high
say it's like
school,
Wednesday in January. What were you guys doing? It's
No,
cold outside.
We weren't drinking every day like that when we were in school, maybe on the weekends, but we were smoking bud.
What would you do if you were home by yourself at night? Like, what would you end up doing late at night? We just watch TV or fucking, were you doing
Oh, yeah,
anything cool?
TV, dude. We weren't rich, but we had cable, bro.
Yeah? You had cable?
Yeah, my dad had cable, bro. My dad, that's one thing about my pops, because he's such a music head. You know,
plays guitar,
He
right?
plays guitar, yeah, and he always had fucking cable. He always had to have somewhere to watch music videos. We always had a badass stereo in the house.
Would you finish high school?
Yeah, I
Okay, so you
graduated.
finish.
See, I do the joke about going to Kelly High School. That's the joke about how I met a hoochie and got her pregnant,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that was the same year that I met my wife. But yeah, when I went from an all-boys school, I had to go to Kelly High School for 6 months just to get my diploma. I was a smart kid, dude. I had good grades, bro. I've always been a smart motherfucker, bro.
Okay. Did you
Yeah.
take the ACT or anything like
No,
that?
I didn't do all that. Dude, I had a bait, right?
Yeah,
When
a
we
kid,
continue
yeah.
the story, yeah, I had a fucking kid right there, dude.
No, you talked about that on Bill Burr, too.
I just started working and shit, yeah.
So you work for the city. Are you still staying at your parents' house at that time? Or did you go off?
No, I was already out, dude. Like
You and
I
your
moved-
wife
here's
got a
this-
place?
Yeah, I moved out of my parents' house at 20 to move in with my wife, man.
Okay.
Because my daughter was already born, so she was already a year old. My first job was Chuck E. Cheese, dude. That was when I was still living with my parents, and around the time I met my wife. We were just friends at first. We'd have these little fucking get-togethers, and her friends would come over, and then my friends would be there, and that's how we started talking. But around that time, I was working at Chuck E. Cheese, and the night shift, I would get off at 11 p.m., bro, and go hang out, like take the bus to wherever my friends are at, fucking out till 2, 3 in the morning, man.
Yeah.
I started working at Walgreens, and that's when I started, like, being more serious, because I did 1 hour photo, because I was always a good employee, customer service skills.
Yeah.
I was bilingual and shit. So they moved me up, I got a little more serious. That's when I got my wife pregnant. And we were married yet. We were just boyfriend, girlfriend. But I was still working nights, dude. So there was a lot of times where my wife would call me like, "Hey, what time you getting off work?" I'm like, "I get off 11. Come straight over here. The baby's sick." I was like, "Oh, I'll be there afterwards. I gotta stop by the block real quick."
Right.
But yeah, I was kind of not an asshole, but I would stop in the hood
Sure,
or go
you're
by
still
my
a kid.
homie's house.
Yeah.
Or go shoot hoops real quick at McKinley Park, and then I'll go to her house afterwards.
Yeah.
There were a couple of incidents where my stupid ass should have went over there instead of going out, because I got jumped a couple times, like bad, dude, like
You're stupid ass because of why? Because you went over to her place?
because I didn't go straight
Oh.
over there. I decided to go do something else,
McKinley or something.
like, and this was back to back weekends, bro.
This is when you're 20, 21?
This is when I was 20 years old, dude. About to turn 21. I was supposed to go straight there after work, right? Straight to Carol's house. But I went out with my guys, right? So one of my guys was like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna go pick up this chick. Take a ride with me." He asked me and one of my other friends, "Take a ride with us." I'm trying to, fucking hit on her.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get with her or whatever. So I'm like, "Fuck it, let's go." He picked up that girl. Me and my other friend were in the back. We go to the lakefront, bro. And it's like It's like midnight. I'm smoking a blunt, and some fucking Latin kings are walking by, yo. And they have their hat turned in the other direction. Like they're they call it false flagging. So that they could get you to fucking represent the wrong gang. It's like if a Russian motherfucker comes up to a Ukrainian, like, oh, I'm Ukrainian. And like, oh, I'm Ukrainian too. And then the Russian dude shoots him.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like gangbangers used to set you up like that.
Jesus
And they
Christ.
did that shit to me. Oh, what's up, folks? And I'm like, oh, what's up, bro?
Yeah.
And that motherfucker knocked me. That's why my fucking nose is crooked, dude. There was like 4 of us, but there was like 8 of them, dude. And then they whistled and like 4 more guys came.
Jesus Christ.
But one of the dudes that was with them used to play ball with us. So he was like, oh, I know these guys. They're cool. So they let us go, but I had to get 10 staples in my fucking head, bro. That night, I was supposed to go home, dude. I was supposed to go by Carol's house.
That's like a real, I wish I was home tour. You grew up in a place where bad shit could happen late at night.
After 10 p.m.,
yeah,
bad shit's happening.
That's different.
Yeah.
But now we're doing comedy. I mean, you still live out there. But
Well, now with comedy, it's just drunk drivers and fucking everybody got guns now. You don't know carjackings and shit like that.
When you're doing shows now after your shows, sometimes it's late. I've gone out with you maybe like 2 or 3 times.
Before COVID, I
we went out a couple good nights. It was fun. When I was drinking.
those are fun nights. Dude.
Yeah.
I don't drink like that anymore.
I don't drink at all.
I'd fucking die, dude, if I would.
That was a different time. Like 10 years ago, we were a lot younger too. We were fucking
not even 10 years ago. Fucking 6 years.
Yeah,
right before COVID, in 2019.
Yeah, that was right. You and I hang out. I think it was right before COVID. We went out and hung out late.
And even that New Year's Eve of 2019,
yeah,
I got fucked up at I went to Galway Bay with a bunch of comedians.
Yeah, that was the one.
You were there, right?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
I was there till like
pictures.
I was there till like 4 a.m.
Our eyes are all glossed out. We're wearing our shit from the show. So what are you doing now after your shows?
I go home, dude.
Yeah,
I'm a homebody, bro. The way I sleep, the way I eat, all my habits have changed. Like. There's pre-COVID and now there's post-COVID.
What happened?
It's just 2 different lives now.
Well, obviously you injured your leg.
Well, no, even aside from the injury, in 2019 I was doing a lot, which was cool. You know, I did the Bill Burr shit. That's how we know each other so well. We were literally on fucking stage 10 times a week.
Yeah.
Even my wife would be like, "You're never fucking home. You don't even fucking sleep."
I saw you more than your wife did.
You know, and I would stay up. Yeah, exactly. And my kids were in school at the time.
Yeah.
Every morning I'm taking her to school, dude. I'd get home at fucking 3 a.m. taking her to school. I was eating better, but I wasn't sleeping, and I was drinking a lot, yo. Mm-hmm. Like I was drinking every fucking weekend. When pandemic hit, stopped drinking, right? I started smoking more weed, started cooking more at home. It just made me feel better, dude. Like I felt rested. And then the injury, which was more of a mental thing for me.
Yeah.
Like I can fucking get around. It was more mental. Like it just slowed me down in a sense where I have to sit to tell jokes. It just changed everything the way I do. Like my storytelling is better. I literally write out jokes now. Before I did it, I was like, let me see what happens up there.
Like I still go out and hang out with comics. I don't drink with them, but I started smoking cigars during COVID.
All right. Depends on who they hang out with.
Yeah,
I don't know the.
That's true too.
I did the last time I got drunk like that with some comic friends, Nate Craig and Adam Burke. We all did the Lincoln Lodge. I got fucked up with them, bro.
Lincoln Lodge is a dangerous place if all the old school people are there. It's like
it's dangerous, because you forget.
All right, I'm just gonna have one drink.
The late Nate, like, what are we gonna do after the show? Let's stay out till fucking 1 a.m. I can't do it no more, dude.
But what do you do when you go home? You're still wired from the show, right? You're still kind of you're chill.
I fucking get home. I'll fucking eat a small snack, turn on a fucking movie,
and
or I'll chop up a clip. I try to be productive with comedy, but. Yeah, I'm a completely different person from how I was.
So
bro.
5 years ago, you weren't like that. So what made you change?
I was just out more.
What made you change, though? Like, it wasn't just COVID. I mean, you injured your leg, too, and you...
It's not that it was COVID. It was when we were forced to stay home, it made me realize, like, staying home is not that bad. Like, especially with money, when it comes to money and fucking spending money. It's just, I'm just more responsible, man, and more like, there's certain things I just don't need to do anymore, yo.
Yeah, but it's kind of fucked up because you kind of lost out on a lot of your 20s because you were a fucking dad. You were like a real person.
I partied my ass off in my 20s, yo. Even when I was a dad, bro. I mean, having Latino parents, like my mom never minded watching the kids.
Oh, that's right.
My dad is one of those. He'd get offended if I didn't bring the fucking kids over there every weekend.
That's right. You guys had Latino grandparents.
Me and my wife, we got to party, bro. I mean, we went to concerts. We fucking kicked it, you know. Even as parents, we dropped the kids out of my
You get to party.
And we partied. Yeah, me and my wife partied a lot, bro.
When are you writing comedy?
At night, dude. I do everything at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, like during the day, like an old man, bro. If I don't stay up late, I'm up at 6 a.m. fucking drinking coffee.
Really?
Fucking reading news articles. I wake up early, dude, like a fucking old ass man now. Especially unless it's dark out, like during the winter.
I don't even know you anymore, Joey. You used to be like this partier and stuff, and I'm not a partier either.
And I can still hang.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like I just don't want. Like the hangovers are terrible.
I got drunk on New Year's. I was hungover for 2 days.
Yeah,
I haven't had a
it's
drink
fucking
since.
terrible, dude. That night I went out with these assholes with Nate and. I felt like I was hungover for 2 whole days, bro.
Do you have any situations where you were out with comics, like later doing comedy, and you're like, you should have been home a long time ago?
You know, Mikey O produces shows all over the Chicagoland area.
Yeah.
We used to go out to Rockford on a regular. There was a dude named Val out there that had a restaurant. We used to do a Mikey O show out there. But there was once where Alex Ortiz was the headliner. I was his feature, and I took my wife with me. We didn't get a hotel because we're like, Mikey's like, just drive there and drive back, whatever, right? So we
This
go
is when
to
Alex was partying, or
and I was kind of partying too. Like I was fucking crazy too. We do the show, and there's a group of dudes that are like, yeah, we live right here in Belvedere, which is right next to Rockford. You know, we having a house party. So Alex is like, you know, fuck it, let's go. So me and my wife, we're in our own car. We go there. I'm from the hood, bro, and so is my wife. We're from the same neighborhood. So we're kind of like, yo, these dudes look shady. We shouldn't be in this fucking house. I'm smoking weed with a group of dudes. And then Alex leaves. Oh, one of the dudes like, yeah, your homie left. And I'm like, oh, shit, he left? And dude, my wife started freaking out a little bit. Like, we felt like we were trapped in that place, right? The whole hour, I was like, why the fuck did I come here? It's fucking 2 a.m. I'm in this fucking house with these cholos in Belvedere. You know, like in Training Day, like I'm in this fucking house, they can kill us and shit.
Don't go to a second location after a show.
Yeah, especially with some shady ass motherfuckers who say, we got you. Dude. And then like, I already had enough to drink and I smoked my ass off. We just got like a fucking Motel 8 right there.
Yeah. Find out why Alex left?
That motherfucker was like, oh shit, it's late. And he just jumped in his car and left. Yeah. And,
when are you going to be off the cane and crutch shit?
like I only use the cane really when I have to walk like for like farther distances. Like I don't use it at home.
For a show, it's just you just sit because it's long. Time.
Yeah, because it's awkward. So it's just better for me to sit down.
Or you could hold the mic stand too.
That too, yeah.
If it's a shorter set,
I got used to sitting down, bro. You know what's funny is I used to be one of those like
make fun of people.
Yeah, I used to be like, why the fuck are you sitting down? Well,
you're just different. You have to.
Well, here's the thing. Not that I knocked comics that sit down. If you're headlining, if you're doing an hour, I don't give a fuck. But it was one of those things where like we're doing a showcase at.
There was a
Laugh
comic
Factory.
who used to sit down.
And then the way they start real slow, hey, what's up, y'all? And then they sit down. It's like, bro, you just spent 3 minutes of your 10 minutes getting comfortable sitting down. You haven't even got into your bit yet. You know
I tried to sit once, and I had a video of me doing it because I was like, I'm going to try to do it. I was so uncomfortable.
It's weird. You have to get used to it. And I've gotten used to it where there's times where if the mic stand is movable and not heavy, I lower it and I hold the whole mic stand because I can fuck around with it.
So when your leg's all better, you're still going to be sitting down, you think?
It depends, bro, because there's times where, like, you know how I can stand up now? Mikey O show, there's a bit where I talk about, because my cane folds like a blind man stick. And the joke is like, I did that in front of a doorman. And he thought I was blind. He's like, do you need some help?
That's funny.
So I got up and I was like, in my neighborhood, there's a lot of Venezuelans. The ones that were brought over. Like a shitload of them, right? And they're cool as fuck. They're not murderers. But when you go to the grocery store, they took over that motherfucker.
Okay.
So that was the joke. I'm like, now I walk into El Güero and I pull the stick out like I'm blind. I'm like, I just poke all the Venezuelans. Like, get the fuck out the way. Get the fuck out the way. But I stood up for that.
Yeah.
Like I stood up and I did that and like people were fucking cracking up.
Do you address it when you go up right away? Like, hey guys, I'm not.
I used to. Now it's more, I mean, I'll crack a quick joke. Because there's always somebody staring at you weird.
Yeah.
Like they see you with the cane, they're just like, if I see that clearly in front, I always say like, what, you never seen a one-legged Mexican fucking come to work?
You tore like all the meniscus in your legs?
I tore the MCL and my calf muscle off the bone, bro. Jesus. And my Achilles.
So now you're writing at night. You said you used to write on stage when you're doing comedy. And I remember you do that. Were you recording your sets on your phone so you could like listen
Yeah, I was always
them?
recording I consider myself witty in a sense where if I'm telling a joke, there's shit that just pops tags. Half of my jokes start off being maybe a minute long, and then by the time the end of the year, they're 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it's just a bunch of little funny.
You tag shit up,
pieces.
and you don't do the joke the same way every time.
No, I never tell it the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, you started them. I mean, there are certain bits that you do. Like if I like the joke about the road rage, that one built up into a full like 3-minute bit now.
I heard you talking about that and how you never do a joke the same way. Like you, even the tones and everything like that. And so like I tried to work with that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to see what that's like. And it just feels wonky to me.
And to me, it's more the vibe of the crowd.
Yeah.
But we talk about the old riddles or even the new riddles. Mm-hmm. You know, there's times where it's just a hood ass all black crowd. Where I grew up near Inglewood, and the way I grew up talking with my black friends, I know how to adjust a bit.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm gonna say it like this. I try to do that. I try to do that with every room that I headline.
Okay.
Because the way I really talk, like I talk hood as fuck, bro. Like I'm me on stage too. I'm the same person on stage. I just won't talk to a certain crowd in a certain way because they won't get it.
Right. I did a show once where a white lady in the front of Laugh Factory couldn't understand a young black comic. And she's like, I can't understand you. And I was like, oh
yeah,
my
that
God.
sucks, dude. Dude, Gwen LaRocca
yeah.
knew a girl that worked for Home Depot, right? That girl calls Gwen to hire us to do their Home Depot holiday party. Gwen is like, you go up, you do 20 minutes, and then I'll go up and do 20 minutes, right? She didn't even get to go up, dude. I go up there, right? And this is in a banquet hall. So the floor is the stage. Yeah. So I'm on the floor in the middle of all these tables. This is before I got injured. So I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for having me. And I'm trying to crack a joke. And there's this white lady in front, like fucking mocking me. She's going like this. So I'm like, what's wrong with you, lady? You having a seizure? And there's the table full of black people behind them. They're laughing. Yeah. I'm like, this lady having a seizure? She's like, no, it's the way you talk. And I'm like, oh, damn, you're mocking me? Wow, lady. Right? So I'm like, does she work in the liquor department? I'm making fun of her, right? As I'm doing that, a big, tall, white dude in a suit fucking gets up, bro. And he starts walking toward him. He's like, oh, that's it. That's it. We're not doing this. Give me the microphone. And I'm like, I'm joking. I'm walking away from him like, oh, man, you ain't getting the mic from me, man. They hired me to do this, right? He's like, no, that's it. We're not going to do it. We're not having comedy tonight. He was the district manager.
Who was the chick?
She worked in their fucking marketing department, and she just got her. She's embarrassed, bro. So I'm like, seriously? So before I give him the mic, this is when I used to have my Latino comedy night. I had a stack of Laugh Factory tickets in my jacket. Remember the comp ones?
Yeah.
So before I give him, I told the people, I'm like, look, guys, I just want you to know we were hired by somebody to do this. We just did not walk in here and decided to tell jokes.
Right.
I'm like, I got tickets for the fucking Laugh Factory. If you want some, put your hands up and I'll fucking come by. And Gwen and the old girl, they're just embarrassed, dude.
Damn.
So that table full of black people, they're like, man, you were funny than a motherfucker, bro. He was rolling on old girl. So I gave them tickets. Dude, I just walked around, gave tickets, and I walked the fuck out, bro.
You got paid?
Well, it took like a month for that girl to pay us.
Did you ever do jokes and notes?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I did it a few times, yeah.
I never got to do it.
It was fun, man. Like, I kind of got in because Brian Babylon used to do a Wednesday showcase. Mm-hmm. Mary Lindsay already kind of knew who my name was. And I did one of their showcases, and I did well. But, Mary had all these rules and shit. Like, you can't wear hats on stage. You can't stand over there. Don't stand over there. Don't be over there. Right. And I just kind of, like, stayed away, dude. It was Brian Babylon put me on a few of his showcases, and I fucking murdered all the goddamn time, bro. That's another thing people they underestimate me with that. Like, I've done black shows where they'll book me and, hey, this is an older, tough black crowd. I'm like, I got this, bro.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I grew up with some fucking roasting ass black people, bro.
We were just talking about this before with
I love older black crowds, dude.
Black crowds
One of my
are the
favorite
best.
fucking crowds.
Actually,
bro.
Alex Ortiz took me to do a older black crowd, older black room. The minimum age to get to this show was 35. They didn't let anyone in under.
All right.
And I was like, oh, this is gonna be tough. And I had so much fun. The owner's like, well, could you bring your
back? Now they get it. They're respectful.
Awesome.
They're there for a fucking good time.
And you just have to be funny. Like first of all, they put up 2 new comics before us. It was me and Alex, and then they had 2 people who just like ate it. Like new guys, but they were like trying, and they were too dirty. Obviously, it's like, these people are wearing like nice shit. Like they're dressed up.
Yeah, not every black crowd is motherfucker this, motherfucker that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were like, it kind of set me up to win because I was like, they're like, this guy's actually got jokes. As long as you're confident, they can sense
if you
fucking
can, they
blood.
can sense when you're not when you're not like fucking polished, or if you're up there, if like I used to tell this joke that one of the first black promoters I ever worked with, right before I got up on stage, he would say, "Don't go up there with that bullshit." He's like, "Oh shit, don't go up there with that bullshit."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I usually say that, like, hey, when you do black crowds, you got any advice? Don't go up there with that bullshit. Motherfucker, be funny.
You got to be confident. They don't like self-deprecating stuff if you're a dude, and just like fucking get to the point. You got just a minute, but as soon as you
get to the funny points of that shit, with that fucking joke, you got them long setups,
too long.
Ain't going to work.
No.
I mean, you've heard stories about how in neighborhoods like that, if you weren't funny, you're getting fucked with, bro.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't join the gang, if you weren't the pretty boy who got all the girls, and you weren't funny, then you were going to get fucked with.
Yeah.
Being funny gets you out of shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like my brother's very funny. My brother's one of the funniest dudes you'll ever fucking meet. That's what got him through prison.
Yeah.
You know, my brother did time in a penitentiary, bro.
Jesus Christ.
You know, with killers, bro. My brother's got tattoos on his face. But he's a small dude, you know, stocky motherfucker who could fight. But he would always, like, I would go visit him. And I remember the first time I went to go visit him, like, in the penitentiary, when he got shipped down to Robinson, which is like 4 hours south, I'd be at the table with him, and we're talking, and like a black inmate would walk by. He's like, "Oh, this your brother?" He's like, "Yeah, that's my brother." He's like, "This motherfucker funny as hell, bro." And like the black dude would be like, "He told me you funny too." I'm like, "Yeah, we're all funny, dude."
Why don't you go and do shows at the penitentiary?
Oh, fuck that, dude. Hell, no straight. I don't even think they allow that anymore.
Joey, we're out of time. I kept you too long. I apologize, but I was having fun telling the
that's
stories.
cool, man.
Where can people find out about your upcoming shows? And if you got anything big coming up you want to promote?
Go to my Instagram. It's Joey the Clown with a D. Joey the Clown.
Joey, thank you for doing the podcast.
Hey, thanks again, dude.
I really
that, Paul.
appreciate you, and thank you for always being cool to me. Thank you all for watching and listening. Go to sleep.